Single dad finds twin girls sleeping in the trash on Christmas Eve. What he discovered will break you. I wasn't supposed to be out that late. Christmas Eve. Snow biting through my coat. My son asleep in the back seat, his breath fogging the window like a fading heartbeat. But the call had come anyway, a blocked number. Silence on the other end. Just breathing, thin, shaky, almost frightened. I should have hung up. Instead, I drove. The city was deserted, wrapped in holiday lights that felt more like lies than celebration. People hiding inside warm homes, pretending everything was fine. I turned down the alley behind my building because some instinct told me to. The same instinct that kept me alive through every betrayal, every heartbreak, every moment where the world tried to smother me. I killed the engine. Silence swallowed the car. Then I heard it, a sound that didn't belong in winter. A whimper. 2 of them. I stepped out, boots crunching in the snow. The alley smelled of rotting trash and forgotten lives. My breath turned to smoke as I followed the sound. Then I saw them. 2 tiny bodies curled against a rusted dumpster. 2 girls. Thin, shaking, wearing matching torn dresses that clung to their skin like frost-bitten hope. Twins. Their eyes opened at the same time, wide, hollow, terrified. One tried to speak. The other tugged her close, protecting her. My pulse dropped into a cold, steady rhythm. I'd seen neglect. I'd seen cruelty. But this was something darker. Something intentional. I didn't know it yet, but the moment I bent down to lift them from the trash, the past I thought I'd buried began crawling back, breathing, whispering, waiting. And the truth? The truth was already watching me. They wouldn't tell me their names, not at first. They sat on my couch wrapped in blankets, trembling like trapped birds. My son, Liam, woke up and stared at them with quiet curiosity, as if he somehow recognized the loneliness in their eyes. I brought them warm milk. Neither reached for it. Then the smaller one finally whispered, "Are you him?" Her voice cracked. My heartbeat didn't. "Who?" I asked. She didn't answer. The other twin, slightly older by minutes maybe, held out a folded slip of paper. Her fingers were raw, stiff, blue around the edges. She looked at me like she expected me to disappear the moment she blinked. The paper was old, soft from being opened too many times, torn at the edge as if ripped away from something bigger, of a woman I once loved, a woman who disappeared without goodbye. Mara, my ex. And in the picture, she was pregnant. The date on the corner was unmistakable. The twins looked up at me. Same eyes, same shade, same shape. My shape. My mind refused to process it. My body did. A cold tremor slid through me like a knife dipped in snow. I stared at the picture again, searching for flaws, distortions, tricks, any justification not to believe what I already knew. She told us, the older twin whispered, if anything happened, to find you. My hands tightened around the photo. What happened? I asked. Their silence was a wound. Then the younger one whispered, he found out. The room stilled, the air freezing around the confession. No names, no identifiers, but I understood. Someone else knew about them, someone dangerous. And whoever he was, he wanted them gone. I waited until the girls fell asleep on the couch before I started digging. The house was quiet, too quiet. My heartbeat filled the silence like a ticking bomb. I opened my laptop, searched Mara's name. Nothing current, no address, just a trail of past jobs and disconnected numbers. Then I found a hospital record, 6 months old. Admitted, complications, discharged same day. No follow-up. That wasn't like her. Her last known employer was a private security firm, small, high-risk contracts, owned by one man, Evan Rourke, a name I had hoped to never hear again. He had once been my friend, then my rival, then something darker, obsessed with what I had, convinced the world owed him everything, especially Mara. I closed the laptop. My reflection stared back from the dark screen, hollow eyes, tightened jaw, the calm of a man who no longer felt fear. I checked the front door twice, 3 times. Then I took DNA swabs from the girls while they slept. Gentle touches, careful not to wake them. Not because I doubted, because I needed proof, real proof, unshakable. I packed the samples into envelopes and wrote the lab's address on them. A trusted contact still owed me favors. I dropped them in the night box. I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark, watching the shadows shift along the walls. Every creak of the house, every whisper of wind felt like a warning. At dawn, a text arrived from an unknown number. You have something that doesn't belong to you. My stomach hardened. I didn't respond. Another message came instantly. Bring them back before nightfall. No threat, none needed. The silence after the text felt like a noose tightening. I walked to the living room. The twins curled into each other. Their eyes then, this wasn't abandonment, it was escape. And whatever they ran from was only just beginning to look for them. The DNA results arrived in a thick envelope at noon, hand-delivered. My contact didn't call, didn't text. He simply sent the proof. I sat at the kitchen table, the envelope heavy in my hands. The girls were drawing in the living room, small, fragile lines that looked more like wounds than pictures. I opened the envelope. 2 reports, 2 profiles, both identical, both unmistakably connected to mine, my daughter's. The weight of truth pressed against my ribs. I didn't collapse. I didn't cry. Pain changed shape inside me, sharpened, focused. I heard footsteps behind me. The older twin stood there, holding her sister's hand. "Is it real?" she whispered. I slid the papers toward her, my voice barely a breath. "Yes." Her shoulders shook, not from sadness, from relief. "He said you abandoned us," she murmured. "Said you didn't want us." I swallowed the burn in my throat. "Who?" Their eyes flickered, fear, guilt, memory. Then the younger one whispered the name I already knew, Evan. My pulse steadied, not racing, not panicked, controlled, cold. I stood up, walked to the window and looked out onto the street. A black car idled across from my house. Tinted windows, engine running, watching. He wasn't hiding. He wanted me to know he was close. I walked back to the girls, knelt to their height, tucked the report gently into the older twin's hand. "You're safe," I said quietly. But internally, I felt the shift, the click of a lock, the snap of a trap, the moment a hunted man decides to stop running. This wasn't just truth. This was war. I didn't wait for nightfall. I strapped the girls into the back seat next to my son. Their small fingers clung to each other, afraid but trusting. Evan's car followed the moment I pulled out. Good. I drove to the old industrial district, empty on holidays, forgotten by the city. Snow drifted across cracked concrete like dead confetti. I stopped beside an abandoned warehouse. Evan stepped out of his car before I opened my door. Same smirk, same arrogance. He walked toward me slowly, hands in his pockets. "You found my gifts?" he said. My jaw tightened. "They're not yours." He shrugged. "Mara was mine. Everything she had was mine. She left you." His smile twitched, a crack in the mask. "She left when she found out. I told her I'd take care of the problem." My blood froze. "What did you do to her?" Same thing I should have done to them. He nodded toward my car. A single tear rolled down the older twin's cheek. I stepped between him and the car. "Do you have proof?" he asked softly. "That they're yours?" I took the envelope from my coat, held it out. He reached for it, greedy, triumphant. I pulled it back. "You don't get to read it." His jaw twitched. "Then why show me?" "To let you know," I whispered, "that everything you built, every lie you told, every delusion you fed yourself, dies today." He froze. I dropped the envelope at his feet. "Read it alone. Then decide whether you want to keep breathing." The mask shattered. He bent down, hands shaking, tearing open the results. His eyes scanned the lines. Color drained from his face. He looked up, broken. "This can't be." "It is." I walked away, left him kneeling in the snow, defeated, stripped, powerless. The truth destroyed him more effectively than any violence ever could. The girls slept in my arms that night, not out of exhaustion, out of safety, the kind they'd never known. The house felt different, heavier, quieter, real. I sat by the window long after the snow stopped falling, watching, waiting, but the street remained empty. Evan didn't follow. He didn't call. He wouldn't. The truth had crushed him, and men like him don't survive truth. The twins woke briefly, just long enough to murmur one question. "Will you keep us?" I didn't hesitate. Yes. Their eyes softened, closing again with the peace only children should have. I leaned back, the weight of everything settling into a shape I finally recognized. Not fear, not grief, not rage. Control. The quiet, brutal kind. The kind that comes only after the world tries to break you and fails. I looked at the 3 children asleep on the couch. My children. All of them. For the first time in years, the future didn't feel like a threat. It felt like a choice. My choice. When I turned off the lights, the last thought that crossed my mind was simple, cold, final. He took everything from Mara, but he will never touch what's mine again. And with that, the door inside me, the one that had been cracked open by betrayal, finally closed forever.